What's up, guys? It's about 9:30 in the morning. I just I've been thinking a lot lately about Trump supporters, and why. Like, I really find it interesting. Like, if somebody makes a decision that's different than a decision that I would make, like their trains of logic are different than mine, I get very curious to know why their train of logic, why whatever the facts that they were presented, led them to take action in one way or another. And I can't say that I figured that out for everybody, but a lot of the people, online at least, that's what I can talk about, because that's what I am exposed to. But the Trump supporters online, like the racist alt-right fucking just assholes, like they're just like, so I have kind of experience on the internet, not that I'm proud of this or anything, of just you know, I don't know how to word it right, but just interacting with all sorts of people. I was a mod of a certain chat room, and there was, we were all into something, and there was everybody from all over the world, all kinds of everybody. Do you know what I mean? And I was pretty big part of that for like more than a year or two. I was a moderator and whatever, but like I realized that because of that, like, I'm a little bit more internet savvy and kind of can pick up on chats. Kind of, I just get the feeling of the chat. And anyways, so I was in a chat room last night, and it was like just the alt-right. It was what it was. It was the most nuts fucking stream. It was on YouTube. I think it was BuzzFeed. Somebody from BuzzFeed at LAX documenting the protesters of the Muslim ban that Trump put on, and that's what the feed was. And then the person who owned the channel put a kind of a rap. It was like just a KKK rap, pretty much. Like, it was just rhymes written by KKK members, I guess. It was just the most racist shit ever. So anyways, that was that was terrible. But the chat room was like there was a big group of fucking just alt-right, for some reason, just went to this channel to watch these protesters and have this white supremacist, like, kind of music. It was a rap, but it was said by a computer voice kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So it was like kind of creepy. But anyways, long story short, all those people are just a fucking, like, they're just young idiots trying to troll, and they just like getting a reaction out of people. So they do things, and an easy group to get a reaction out of right now is the social justice warriors, because all those guys have to do to get a reaction is just say something not politically correct against women or racist or immigrants or whatever, and then they get a reaction, and then that's what they want. And I really don't think a lot of them are like I think a lot of them are just kids, like, wrapped up in, I'm not trying to excuse them or say or apologize for them in any way, but the reason for me doing this is I really want to understand Trump supporters, so that, like, whatever the fuck I can do to turn that switch in everybody I meet, to make it so that I feel better, that I'm doing whatever I can do so that fucking people like Trump don't get elected again. Do you know what I mean? It's like I feel I need to do it just because it's like for humanity, or it's like it's like having sex. It's like I just like feel I need to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's not a logical thing. It's not like I think I'm, you know, anyways. So, yeah, and yeah, the Trump supporters, like, what they are is they are just a bunch of people who don't have a direction, who are just like lost, bored, poor, or I don't mean poor, I mean like the economy is kind of suppressing them a little bit. That's what I mean, and they're feeling the effects of that, and so with all that it builds up angst, and then they just like they release it in unhealthy ways, obviously, and they like Trump is their daddy, like Trump is their alpha, and they are the little betas running around, regurgitating whatever the alpha says, and it's like some kind of weird. I think it's a weird biological evolutionary trait that some humans have, where it's just you need to follow the leader. Just follow the leader. Don't think. Follow the leader. And that's I think what consumes most Trump supporters kind of on a daily basis, because I think like how do you do that? Like, okay, fair enough, you like if it was just a short thing where it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, like fuck the system, fuck everything, I don't know anything about it, but fuck it, then it'd be like, okay, yeah, okay, you're just trying to cause some shit and let's move on, whatever. But it's lasted for so long, and Trump just has these people locked into his it's like Stockholm syndrome. They just love him. He has them under his wing, and they just love him. So I don't know what to say about that, but I just try to like understand. And by understanding, like, it's not like I'm like doing it because I'm on their side. I'm not like trying to, like, I'm doing it with an end in mind. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to learn about these fucks so that, because it surprised me, and I'm like, wow, like, this is something that I've missed or something. I didn't, like, a lot of people didn't see it coming, which is fine, but yeah, it just opens up the curiosity, kind of like, it's like, what the fuck are they thinking? I have no idea. So and I'm just like learning. I don't know, like I'm super interested. Like, one thing, I've probably said it before, I fucking love watching, like history is cool, but what's interesting for me about history is how events shape the next event, and then that event shapes the next event, and then seeing that timeline and seeing like, oh, maybe if this thing wouldn't have happened, then that wouldn't have happened, whatever. But what's more interesting is watching why, like, what causes the events to take place, and like really trying to understand it without just accepting the first kind of, oh, well, that's just because of this or something, like really like, okay, well, these guys did this, and then those guys did that, and then that resulted in this, and then everybody thought this should happen because of that, and do you know what I mean? Like, I find that shit so fascinating. So how Trump getting elected, like, these people, why did they think that? What are they doing, and why, like, I am, yeah, in no way on Trump's side. I don't know. Yeah. It's been interesting though, like learning about it and just seeing like what it is. It's just and like even the more mature ones, I think they just like, and I live in a city where it's very much like that too. Like if I were to go up to some people that I've known in my life and say certain political things, they would just say, "Why are you thinking about that? Stop talking to me about it. Go away," kind of thing. You know, like, and that would be like a friend that I've known for 3 years, and they would have that response to it, which is so weird to me because it's just so anti-intellectual. It's so like, let's not think about any new things, or let's not, you know, it's like, this is what I want to do. That's politics. It's bad. Get it out of my mind. Let's move on, you know? And then that shit is part of the big reason why fucking Trump got elected too. He kind of knew, or I don't know if he knew, but whatever happened, like that definitely played a part into it, because it was just like, yeah, fuck politics. Yeah, Trump is telling them how it is, you know, and then they don't, and then they go and play baseball or something, like they don't, like, they don't go any further than that. Like that's it. They've made up their mind at that, and that's the problem. That's the thing, and that's not like I'm just trying to observe it from a neutral place. I'm not trying to be like, okay, I fucking hate these Trump voters. I need to find out, like, I just want to make fun of them constantly, and I just want to hate them constantly. No, I'm trying to learn more about it so then I can hate them more effectively. No, kinda, yeah, but that's pretty much it, actually, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd make a video on my thoughts on Trump voters. It's just, I don't know. Like, pretty much the point is, like, they are a, I don't know what the word is, but they are slowly becoming more and more compromised. Like, their support of Donald Trump is dwindling day by day, in my opinion. There are certain things that are just, that Trump supporters will not be able to get past, and it's going to become a social shaming thing. Like, people will be, like, beat up if someone finds out that somebody else voted for Trump. Like, I bet people will be killed. It won't be a good thing. It'll be like that'll be the extreme, and then like the less extreme aspects of it will be, you know, like if girls suspect that the guy might have voted Donald Trump, which I don't think would be hard to come to that conclusion, but you know, they just won't have any part of it. I think they'll have much less patience for kind of Trumpian, like, acting like Trump. Do you know what I mean? And that will have a big impact on the male kind of support for Trump, because that's like I know Trump voters. I live in the Canadian part. I live right above Idaho. It's like, like, so many people here are fucking racist. It's fucking nuts. But I live in a very similar area to what, like, my area would have been just a Trump state, without question. And that scares me. That's like, what the fuck? Like, where am I living? Like, what is this? Like, it gives me a weird existential thing where it's like, where am I meant to be? I don't know, because it's probably not here. So yeah, like, I forget what the train of thought I was on there. Yeah, no, I just think they're like a compromised kind of group. They will dwindle, and with that, like, if you go from on Donald Trump's side to not on Donald Trump's side, you don't go to neutral. You go against him because you like him so much that you can't go to neutral. You have to go to hating him. And so he's going to, this is like a little bit hopeful too. I gotta say, this is like optimistic for sure. I gotta say there's like maybe it's like leaning 15% more optimistic than it should be. Maybe 15, 20 or something. But yeah, like if that happens, if the Trump supporters flip and realize that he's not actually for them, or what will happen? It'll be a class thing. It'll like, oh man, I just see the U.S. turning, like it already is, but it'll be more pronounced class warfare, and that's just too bad. I don't know what to say about that, because that's really terrible. So, yeah, I hope he gets impeached. I hope something happens, and maybe he has a heart attack or something. Who knows? Like like one thing that I've learned in the last couple years from watching the news and watching and just reading and listening to book tapes and whatever, is that I've grown up, and I probably still do have like a bit of a romantic view on life. Like I'm aware of that. Like, but what I've realized is that human beings are extremely not civilized at our inner natural state, or in I shouldn't say inner natural state, but in you make humans, you put, like, humans are just like animals, you know what I mean? You make humans feel pain, and they will lash out, in terrible ways, and you give people the ability to get more power, and they will use that and do terrible things with that, and that's what Donald Trump is all about. He's all about the power, and the problem is with Donald Trump that people don't understand is that by opposing him, you're feeding him. He feeds off that attention no matter what it is, and the more, honestly, like, I'm not saying this like they shouldn't do this, but honestly, any criticism against Donald Trump, in my opinion, that goes out kind of to the public, you can't just be machine gunning fucking shit out there and just saying, oh, he did this, 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 he did this. That's not effective. That is not effective, in my opinion. It needs to be it needs to be relatable to the people. It needs to be a very well thought out thing, and it just needs to be a concrete thing, and that's not hard to do. The guy's a fucking retard, and I can hardly see, like, I see a lot of complaining. And people can relate to it, but it's not effective. It's not effective against him. It's not effective in helping people be against him. It's not effective in anything like that. It's just, oh, Donald Trump is doing this, and he shouldn't do it. Like, no, it needs to be, like, your argument can't be political correctness. That is a fucking weak argument, and that's why the left has lost. Your argument can't be fucking political correctness against any, in this situation, in my opinion, because it doesn't resonate with people. People kind of agree to it, but it doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't help them to deal with that Trump voter that they deal with, like, in next week. It doesn't help them to deal with in a family discussion, you know, if that's why the news is so important. It gives the sides the right arguments to use in social situations, and then that's how things change. So if the news is giving weak ass fucking arguments, then the people are giving weak ass fucking arguments within each other as well, and then the Trump supporter, when they have, if they have a stronger argument or whatever, then they kind of socially win out in that situation, and then that's how things change. And then the guy who didn't win is like, oh shit, maybe I'm wrong, but really he just didn't have the right argument. And so that's why the news is so, on a social level, on a like a social change level. That's why news is so important, and the message that news puts out there is so important. And I know, and I'm not discrediting anything that anybody's doing, but it's just like, it can't be, honestly, it just, like, people don't give a shit. Like, they've heard it over and over again, to hear the same thing where it's like, oh yeah, he should treat people better. That's not the fucking argument. That won't win anything. To say that he should treat people better, that argument won't fucking win anything. It won't change anything. It won't do anything. It needs to be, listen, he's doing this. These are his options. This is why this is the right choice. This is why he chose that, and this is why the choice that he made is wrong. And so to give that whole thing, but to say, oh, he's doing this, those people are victims, and he's a terrible guy. God damn it, what an asshole! Like, that doesn't change anything. You're just complaining. So it needs to be fucking hard hitting, and it needs to cut. And it needs to just be fucking blunt and just the facts. Or else people will either make fun of it or disregard it as a lame argument. So, anyways, bit of a morning rant. That's good to get off my chest though. It feels fucking good. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys.